My name is Laura Alejandra Ruiz, and my presentation is about temperament. That was the topic that I chose because for me, in psychology, it is important to know about temperament. Uh, first, first of all, psychology has a lot of objectives. Between them, psychology studies personality and behavior, and it also classifies and describes patterns of behavior in people. And that's why I think that it's important to study temperament, because temperament is the basic structure on which personality is built, and it is fundamental to understand to study behavior. If we want to study behavior, the way people act, in like the patterns of the people, in order to classify them, we have to understand the temperament and how to classify people in them. First, the theory of temperaments and humor was started by Hippocrates. It was like in 4 or 5 before Christ, and he said that we had four elements in our body, and we had to have them balanced in order to have our body in balance. So we have air, water, fire, and earth. Blood, who was represented by air. Flame, who was represented by water. Yellow bile, who was represented by fire. And black bile, who was represented by earth. Was like the four elements who was that was in our body, and that's like the things that we had to have in balance, and those was like our temperaments. But Galeno continued his theory, because he established that each of those humors was like a temperament, and each one of them was had different characteristics. And he said that we all possessed all them, all four, and but we had like some of them higher at higher levels than the others at lower levels. For example, we had like this was like the four temperaments that um, Galeno uh, continued, and he said that melancholic and phlegmatic, for example, are together. So if a person has like the four temperaments, he has stronger the melancholic and the phlegmatic temperaments than the choleric and sanguine. Or maybe a person could be more melancholic than the other three, or could be more sanguine than the other three. We could develop one more than the others, or we could develop two or three more than others. But it depends on us. And he also said that if we have, for example, if we are melancholic, we could also be phlegmatic, because they both are introverted persons. And if we are choleric, we can also be sanguine, because they are extroverted persons. So they were like, if you are choleric, maybe you could be sanguine. We can share these two, and maybe you are less melancholic and phlegmatic. If you are these two, you can have these two together, because they are extroverted or introverted. That's like the rule. It is weird to be a person to know a person who is melancholic and sanguine. It's like an introverted and extroverted. It's kind of weird, but it could happen too. but it's more natural that a person has these two or these two stronger than the others. So I'm going to explain each one of the temperaments that Galeno said. The first one is the sanguine. So a person that is has a sanguine temperament is a person that's happy, that is usually optimistic, that is a person that is always looking for company, is a person that's always like in group with a lot of people, is laughing all the time, and it's people who is always following their feelings. So that's why sometimes they could be impulsive, and they're always looking for immediate pleasures, and and that could be like dangerous sometimes because they are living in the moment, and it could be selfish because they don't understand sometimes consequences. So they are like really impulsive, and that could be dangerous people. And also they are curious in adventures. The other temperament, the second one, is phlegmatic. Phlegmatic is people who always looks or seems serene. They are calm. They are really rational because they are always thinking about what's going to happen, the consequences. They are always thinking. So they are usually rational. Sometimes they could seem cold, they are shy, or they could seem shy. They also avoid being the center of attention, so they are trying to be quiet, to be shy, to be like a normal person. They don't try to call the attention, and they are also tolerant and empathic. So it's like a person that is good, but sometimes it could be bad because when people know this kind of people, people take advantage of them because they're always saying like yes, okay, or I don't care, or I don't mind, and that's why people sometimes take advantage of them, and they also could seem um, ignorant of the situation, or they could be like I don't care every time, and people could think that they don't care about anything, that they don't mind, and that's why they don't look interested about anything sometimes. The next one is choleric people, the temperament of choleric, and they are people that is energetic, proactive. They are usually independent, are confident, they are assertive because they are really good with words, so they are arguing for their point of view all the time. So that's people that is arguing with the other people all the time, showing that their point of view, the way they think, and they think that they are always right, and that could be dangerous too. That's like a really strong personality, and sometimes as they think they are always right, um, they think that they don't have mistakes, and that's why sometimes they are really conflictive. And the last one is the melancholic people. These people is sensitive, is creative, is introverted, is perfectionist. Sometimes these people feel insecure about the future because they are thinking about the consequences all the time, and that's why sometimes they have trouble to make decisions because they think that something is going to go wrong, so that something is going to be bad, so they choose to don't do nothing than doing no, something and make it worse. And also they are empathic and they enjoy solitude. So this kind of people is just used usually introverted and they are like in their own. And that's it. In my opinion, I am mixed between a phlegmatic person and a melancholic. I am phlegmatic because I am always calm and I'm that kind of people that's always saying like I don't care, do what you want, it's okay. I'm always saying like yeah, of course, or yes, always trying to help people. I could seem shy sometimes, but I'm not really shy, but I could seem like a shy person. I could seem cold too. I'm really rational. I'm always thinking about the things, the way I'm going to do, the consequences. I'm really calm. I'm always tolerant too, empathic. I hate being the center of attention. I'm like the invisible person in the classrooms and in a lot of places. And that's like my strongest temperament. But I could be also really melancholic, Ush, but I could be also choleric. I'm like a mix of them. Yes, but for example, phlegmatic and melancholic could be the strongest. Um, because I'm really sensitive. I'm not really creative, but I'm like introverted sometimes, or I could be seen introverted. I'm really perfectionist. Sometimes I think about the future, and that's why it makes me insecure. And I'm also empathic and enjoy solitude. I really enjoy solitude, and that's why I'm a little bit melancholic too. But I could be also be choleric because I really like to argue for my point of view. I'm always trying to convince people. I think that I'm right in my opinions or my thoughts and the way or my information because I'm always reading. I'm trying to look for information every time, so I'm like I'm the one that's right on that. Or that's why I think, and that's why I'm arguing a lot of the time with people. But that's funny. It's like an arguing with with good reasons, and that's it.